Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the 2017 NBA Draft presented to you by Mad Sports Radio. I'm Martino Puccio. The Boston Celtics have just selected Jayson Tatum out of Duke. Now, this is an interesting development considering the fact that Jimmy Butler was just traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves for assets that the Celtics definitely had and had better ones. It's also interesting because of the fact that there were rumors that if they were going to select Josh Jackson, it was going to be to trade him away. So they don't select him there, obviously meaning there is no trade for Paul George, there's no trade for Jimmy Butler, and there's no trade for Kristaps Porzingis, meaning Danny is probably going to be keeping Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is a really nice prospect. He's a really good player. He's going to be a good scorer, in my opinion. But at the same time, if you were able to make a trade for a guy like Jimmy Butler, that means that Danny didn't want Jimmy because it's obvious he had the assets to do it, and at the same time, that means he's building for the future because he doesn't want to go after the Cavs right now. He doesn't want to go after the Golden State Warriors. I think he believes in a longer-term project. So that means Jayson Tatum will be staying. And it's interesting to see because Jaylen Brown is also a small forward as well. They might be starting him at the 2 for the future with Tatum at the 3, meaning that Jay Crowder might be moved in trade so they could sign Gordon Hayward as well. It remains to be seen whether or not Jayson Tatum will be starting right away. I doubt it. He'll be getting some good minutes there. He's a great isolation player. There's been comparisons with Paul Pierce at the best possible comparison. Meanwhile, there's Danny Granger, Tobias Harris, guys like that. I think Tatum's floor isn't that high, but his potential is almost as high as anyone else in the draft. And Danny Ainge also said in interviews that he felt like they could have drafted. He was number 1 on their board, and they weren't blown away by guys like Fultz or Lonzo Ball, so they felt like that they could get Jayson Tatum at 1, and if they obviously could have gotten him at 1, it's better off just trading back to 3 and picking up more assets for the future. Who knows who's available this time next year for them to try and make a trade, but as of right now, it looks like Danny Ainge either should have kept that pick at 1 or he should have traded for Jimmy Butler, but it looks like the Celtics are building for the future, and they got a nice prospect to go with it in Jayson Tatum. I'm Martino Puccio reporting for Mad Sports Radio. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think about Jayson Tatum, the small forward out of Duke, going to the Boston Celtics.